What's happening, YouTube? It's your boy Flash Speaks back, man. Another one. Now, this video right here, we got to talk about my Chicago Sky versus the Brazilian National team. First of all, it was just the Brazilian national team. We're going to say that. But the reason that don't really matter is the Brazilian national team, hey, it's a team. It's a professional team. They came out. They played. They were no match for Chicago. I get it. But besides all that, the things you do take out of the game is trying to get an idea of what Tyler Marsh is trying to do. And the first thing that stands out to many of us, and to me, I ain't going to talk about many of us. We're just going to talk about to me, was the play of Courtney Vandersloot. Coming in, I expected there to be an upgrade from last year, of course, because you're talking about a player last year, man, that I did like as far as like her heart and everything like that, but you know what I mean? You're talking about a young player versus now a point guard who's been doing it for a long time, longer than most, and has been doing it at a high level, has won championships, is coming off of playing with a championship team. So understanding what that looks like and what to do, especially with bigs like this, and a player that, unlike most in the league, loves the Chicago Sky organization. Vandersloot, she sold me. I'm so happy to see that, because now this helps me when I start to put forth my predictions for the rest of the season. Now, as y'all know, I've been generally pretty high on the team. Vandersloot actually helped me to be a little higher on the team, because I didn't know what to expect with someone her age, but I like the way she was moving around on the court. I like generally what she was trying to do with the offense, where she was going with the ball, the timing that she was using, the decision making out there, the way she was utilizing her shooters and her bigs and everything. Vandersloot gets an A for me for sure so far. Taking into consideration the competition ain't like that. It's whatever. You know what I mean? You can only go off of what you can go off of. And for me, Vandersloot sold me right now. What I do like though is that when Haley Van Lith takes over as the second point guard, which she will, all right. Jefferson and Banham, who I'm going to talk about in a little bit, they're going to get beat out. That's probably my first early prediction on what's going to happen with this particular offense. Okay. So now the other thing, Kia Nurse. Now I'm going to say this here. Looking at the way the offense is, okay, and understanding how basketball kind of works generally now, right now we got a big thing in the community right now going on, and as being the elder statesman, that I am, even though I know I look like I'm 29 to 35, right? But I'm a little bit beyond those years, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? Being as the elder statesman, I'm going to offer a little bit of advice here and there too. You know what I mean? Because that's what you got to do, man. Like in the community that we have, when you're an elder statesman, you're one of the uncles. And the uncles got to always give the nephews advice here and there when it comes to different things. As we go through this hill of journey, I get what Tyler Marsh is doing. I get what he's doing. As far as starting Kia Nurse over Michaela Onyenwere, which is becoming this big controversial debate right now for whatever reason, right? Which is okay. Sports is within the realm of what you call subjectivity. That's what it is. You have subjects that are empirical, or you have knowledge that's empirical, and then you have other things that are subjective. When in the realm of subjectivity, you're going to have difference of opinion. Some people are going to like one player for what that player does. Other people are going to like another player for what that player does. Some of us, when we express our opinions, sometimes we think we got some type of upper hand over other people who express their opinion. Now, that's the reality of life. Sometimes it does happen. Everybody's not evil. Not everybody's not equal. Everybody's not on the same level. People have different knowledge. Some people have experiential knowledge, which means I played the game. And since I played the game, this isn't talking about me, but there's that type of person that has experiential knowledge. I played the game. I've been in that situation. I've been in the film rooms. I did this. I did that. So based on this is my opinion. So now I think my opinion has weight over other people's opinions who don't have experiential knowledge, right? All right. Then you got the joker like myself, who doesn't have that level of experiential knowledge to the point where, like, say I played basketball in college or anything like that, right? I was just basically do junior varsity, high school, wasn't great, none of that, right? But I get an idea of playing on a team what that consists of. But at any rate, when I bring my ignorant ass on here and I talk, I'm speaking from an example. I'm speaking from being over 40 years old and well over 40, and watching over 40 years of basketball, right? So when I speak, I'm speaking like, okay, watching threes, watching fours, watching ones. I feel like I watched a lot of them from different colleges to pros and stuff like that. So I feel like because of that, I can offer an opinion. It don't mean I'm right more than somebody else, but I feel like I can offer an opinion because I've seen a lot of shit, right? I think so, right? In my opinion. Along with that, having conversations with people who are experts of the highest order. People like Sonny Hill, who's over 80-something years old, from Philadelphia, who runs the Sonny Hill Baker League in Philly, having conversations with him about different players and different positions and stuff like that. This man grew up with Will Chamberlain. He grew up raising guys like Kobe Bryant and Rip Hamilton, and pretty much anybody that's local that came through the AAU set or whatever in Philadelphia, they know Sonny Hill. And people who know, they know what I'm talking about. Having conversations with dudes like Hakeem Warwick, who came through Philly, dudes like Scotty Reynolds, who came through Philly, went to Villanova. Having conversations with dudes like Zane Martin, knowing his father. This is a young kid who just played college, was about to go to the league. All of that, like having all of that and talking to these different people, talking basketball to them. I feel like, just speaking to me, like I know some shit, or you know what I mean. Like I can talk a little bit. I can offer some kind of opinion. Then you can have others who, for whatever reason, they think they watched a lot. They do content. They study the history of the game. Whatever. You got different people in this space, in this opinion space. And I know I'm going off on a tangent a little bit, but it's important. You got different people in a different space, different spaces, and everybody got something to contribute. Now, what I don't want to see, what I'm kind of warning against, is we got the potential to build a space here, I believe, when it comes to sports and all of that, that could be something beautiful. It could be a garden with different types of flowers, different types of like roses, different types of grasses, different types of mulch beds and stuff like that. That can create like a really nice space when some of these different heads come together and have shows, have debates, have whatever. Right? Some people more talented in just creating content. Some people like are great at making like the content. Some people have the best shit to say, but are horrible at making the content. Like I'm kind of horrible at making videos and all of that, right? But I feel like I got, some people might have great content, but don't speak as well as others. The point is, God has given everyone different strengths, and if everybody utilizes strengths together, it can be something beautiful. But the only thing that can destroy it, and it's the only thing that destroys anything that people, and in particular black people, have been trying to do and trying to build since the beginning. I ain't even go beginning of time, but since I would say the beginning of our ability to and have freedom and expression in this country, is the freaking ego. Is the ego. Study the black nationalist movement. Open up the books of men like the great Booker T. Washington, the great W.E.B. Du Bois, one genius that's in Philadelphia, the other genius that's stationed in Atlanta, and who dealt with each other and who had actually met with each other and were agreeing to come together to build something that would be everlasting and beneficial to the black people. But however, they had two different ways of looking at things, two different approaches of looking at things. One thing is centered and based off of the reality that he's facing in the South. The other is based and centered in the reality based on what he's went through in the North and how they disagreed. And really, ultimately, what came in between them, sadly enough, was nothing but pure ass fucking ego. I'm right, you're wrong, this and that. They had a specific little agreement, which was almost a personal in nature for anyone who really investigates where their differences came in. And then later, what happens? The one who really inherited Booker T. Washington's way, Marcus Messiah Garvey, who came about from Jamaica, came in, and this is interesting because you got a Caribbean tradition as well, who came to the South. But he kind of took what Booker T. Washington had as an ideology and made it into a physical manifestation of it with the organization that he created. Okay? And what was the differences between what happened between him and W.E. Du Bois, guys like Paul Robeson and others, is that you had one class that was the educated class who went through college and had degrees. And then you had the street smart class like a Garvey clashing now. Again, at the end of the day, it's ego. If you ask anyone who knew Garvey closely, like his closest lieutenants and those who were right next to him, they'll tell you oftentimes it was the freaking ego. And sometimes he's doing too much. Is what led to the problems that he had. That came up, problems that came about. And this is besides, not taking care, you're dealing with the enemy. And we know who the enemy is, in that situation, right? Just trying to make a point here. But the ego, for anyone who studied spirituality and the different spiritual schools, they will tell you that the ego will destroy one faster. The ego will destroy one faster than one's enemy, faster than the devil himself. So I just want us to reflect on these things, man. Don't get all caught up in, who was right about this and who's wrong about that, or who knows more than who, and who does this more than that, and come on, man, let's just build. Now, if the best way is nobody mess with anybody else and all of that, okay, and that's best for you because that's the only way, I'd be sad, but I'd be like, all right, I guess that's what you got to do. I don't see it that way. And, that's why I try not to take anything personal. Really. I really don't. You know what I'm saying? But at any rate, sorry for the tangent. Listen. Vandersloot, I saw, from what I saw, made so many things easier for the rest of the team. And not just Vandersloot, but also Ariel Atkins, right? If you're taken out of this game, well, Ariel Atkins didn't have a whole bunch of points, and then Camila Cardoso didn't have a whole bunch of points. With all due respect, I think you're looking at the game wrong. You got to look at the ball movement. You got to look at the fluidness of the offense. You got to look at the smart playmaking that was taking place out there. Angel Reese, who I talk about as well, played an excellent game. When she saw mismatches on her, she exploited those mismatches. When she saw people that couldn't stay in front of her, she would drive the basketball. When she saw people on her in the post that couldn't handle her, she took advantage of that and handled that business. She took her time, exercised a lot of patience, was paying attention to her footwork, right? I saw a lot of good things from Angel Reese's game. I saw good things from Camilla's game as well, right? Now, people can talk about you not, fighting for position here and there and all of that. Listen, tonight wasn't a game where that was going to be the case because this was a game where your perimeter players, in particular, Nakia Nurse, was going out there and just doing her thing. She was on fire. Rebecca Allen came in and was playing well. So there's one basketball. On some nights when the points are coming from the perimeter, you won't see the points in the post. And then sometimes when you see all types of points in the post, you won't see the points in the perimeter. There's a finite amount of possessions in a game. There's a finite amount of points out there. Like, just because, okay, this one got off in this game, this one didn't, that doesn't mean that one was bad. Kamala Cardoso was not bad at all last night. She wasn't bad at all. And the team got a blowout. Right? And when what you're doing in a blowout is working, you continue to do that. You don't force something to prove a point to somebody on YouTube. Right? So, no. This was a beautiful start. This was a beautiful start. Now, when it comes to someone like Kia Nurse, I understand Tyler Marsh's decision to go with her as a 3. Right? It's just this modern day basketball, right? Where, they feel like, okay, if I got a player like Camilla, I got a player like Angel, right? I got to have a shooter there. Why? Because of spacing and, all of those different things, right? I get the points, right? So because Kia Nurse is making threes, she fits better, right? That's unquote unquote. That's the way you'll put it. She fits better. I get that. Okay. Now, I'm still going to say this. The key is still going to be Michaela Onyeware's her development is still going to be the key. And I do realize she's a backup 4 for Angel Reese. I don't see that continuing because of the other player, Maddie, that they have. I believe that's ultimately her position. Unless Maddie's going to end up being the backup center. And I don't see that happening because E. Will is there. Okay. So, unless, and this is the problem with Michaela here. This is the problem because we just keep having these arguments and whatever, difference of opinion, which I don't mind, but it bothers some people, right? Michaela's problem is not that she's not a good basketball player. Michaela is a good basketball player. Problem is she's what you call a tweener, right? It's like a player that a lot of coaches, when they have a fixed idea of how they want their team to look, they have a trouble trying to figure out where exactly is the best place to play her, because she's kind of like a jack of all trades, but not a master of none. It's like she's a slasher. It's like she can get to the rim, but she's not an elite slasher, right? She's like she can shoot the 3 ball, but she's not elite at it. I can find someone that's better at it. It's like she can play defense, but at the same time, she's not great at it. She's not excellent at it. I can find someone better at it, right? So this is kind of the problem that she faces. Am I going to play her at? She doesn't have point guard skills, can't put her there, because when you're a point guard, it doesn't really matter the size or speed that you have if you have those particular skills. She's definitely not a 2, right? A 3, which is I still think she is a 3. She just might not be a 3 that fits Chicago. And then a 4, she probably could do that as well, depending on how it goes. But she's a little too short for that most nights, I think. She would have to be like a Nisa Morrow to work out as a 4, and she's not that. She doesn't have the length, doesn't have the tenacity, right, to do that, right? Doesn't have that game. But her physicality, I get where Tyler Marsh is going. I get trying it out. It could very well be he doesn't see her as a fit for what he wants to do, and that he's just trying her out here. Okay, damn, you're not working as a 3. Let's try you out there at the 4. Okay, I still believe the team, though, is going to be deficient until they get that 3 that can sufficiently do it. I don't see it with Kia Nurse, and I'm going to tell you why. Kia Nurse, to me, the type of 3 that, all right, she'll go out there in those games like you did and get here, and she'll make them 3s. We ain't see this last year. We'll be like, whoa, damn, Kia Nurse doing that thing. Yeah, whew, boy, yeah. That's going to work good against Brazil. It's going to work good against Brazil. What happens when you playing against Indiana and DeWanna Bonner's coming down on that ass? I got DeWanna Bonner smothering Kid Nurse. I don't know. That's just what I see. When you play against the Aces, now what? When Jackie Young is smothering that ass. Right? These are the things that I'm thinking about. I want more physicality against Bonner. I want more physicality against Jackie Young. Okay? Those are the problems I'm seeing. But I know. Your three, now, a three just means three-point shooter. So, if your three ain't making threes, they don't, and I get it, because you got Angel, right? So, your three ain't just a three-point shooter. It don't work, right? To some people, I guess, Julius Erving would be trash to some people. So would Larry Nance, so would Dominique Wilkins. He'd probably be trash to people now. I don't know. But that's the today's three. Today's three got to just come in and shoot threes. It could be light in the ass, it could be soft, which is, listen, and don't get me wrong. I like the way Kid Nurse work, and I'm telling you, it's going to work some nights. But let me give you a classic example. Lexi Hall last year, okay, on the Fever, shot damn near 60% from three, okay? The problem is when she goes up against the Aces and someone takes that shit away, now what? Then when you go up against the Connecticut Sun like they did last year, now what? Where's she now? She coming off the bench. She coming off the bench right now, right? And from what I saw today, Sophie Cunningham was the first off the bench. Then they bring in Lexi Hall, all right? And I don't even know that Nurse is Lexi Hall level at three. I don't know. But is she the best three right now on the team? Maybe. Maybe, right? She fits what Marsh wants more than Michaela. I get it. I do. I get it. I get it. Same with, who's the other one? Rebecca Allen, who I liked a lot too. And don't get me wrong, I like the way Allen and I like the way Nurse looked. It's going to look beautiful at times. It's just, I know these are the type of players that when shit gets real, those players are going to be zeros, right? And at the end of the day, you're going to need, it's going to come down to Ariel, it's going to come down to Angel, it's going to come down to Camilla, and it's going to come down to Courtney. And the other one that I'm hoping to change up, HVL. The thing with HVL, I got to find out, though. I see a little talented, little engine that could. I see some Kelsey Plum up in there, right? I see some, what's the other little player I was thinking of up in there? I see some of that up in there. But is she her? That I don't know. That nobody knows. We'll find that out, in those moments. For real, to a point, we don't know that Caitlin Clark is her like that. When I mean her, okay? That one that in the moments that's really going to bring you through. Yeah, I don't know. But, she, her just might have to be Ariel. Not a problem. So, overall, I like the way Chicago looked. Like, at least I can see what Marsh is trying to do. Right? And I think the team has the makings of doing something good. However, that three spot will need an upgrade. And I only see it in the form of Michaela taking a jump or someone else. Nurse is sufficient for now. She's sufficient. And maybe Rebecca Allen, who I like too. I like her size, length. I like the way they came in and played like they know what the fuck they doing. Okay? I'm just saying in the long haul. When you face certain teams, certain matchups, I'm telling you, are going to be a problem. And you heard it here. Yeah. Play like Kid Nurse is going to do that. They're going to love her. They're going to love her now. So you have those nights, right? Because a three, if all you bring to me is a 3-point shot, right? When that shit gets taken away and you ain't doing nothing else, oh yeah. I can't wait to see the amount of people that's going to be hating on Kid Nurse. And it's for something that she has no control over, Unless she shows me something else and maybe I'm missing something. I don't know. But overall, we're going to let that be known. Chicago Sky did well. It will be better than last year. All right? So, peace, my brothers.